Sarah and David were ecstatic. They had finally found their dream home. A beautiful, sprawling Victorian house, nestled amidst ancient oaks and whispering willows. The house stood proud, a testament to a bygone era. Its intricate woodwork and stained glass windows hinted at a rich, storied past. They moved in on a crisp autumn day, the air thick with the scent of fallen leaves and the promise of new beginnings. The house welcomed them with open arms, or so they thought. The first few weeks were idyllic. Sarah busied herself with unpacking and decorating. She breathed life back into the dusty rooms. David, ever the handyman, fixed creaky floorboards and leaky faucets. They were happy, their laughter echoing through the cavernous halls. They were building a life together, unaware of the darkness that lurked beneath the surface. It started subtly. A whisper, barely audible, carried on the edge of silence. Sarah would be reading, lost in the world of a book, when a sound, like someone calling her name, would jolt her back to reality. She would look around, her heart pounding, but the room would be empty. Just the house settling, David would say, his voice a calming presence. But even he couldn't completely mask the worry in his eyes. The whispers persisted, growing bolder, more insistent. They seemed to emanate from the walls themselves, slithering through the vents, weaving their way into Sarah's mind. Sarah, the whispers hissed. They knew her name. They knew her deepest fears and darkest secrets. Secrets she had never shared with a soul. They taunted her with her insecurities, whispering doubts and anxieties into her heart. Sleep became a distant memory. The whispers followed her into her dreams, twisting them into nightmares. She would wake up in a cold sweat, the sound of her own screams echoing in her ears. Sarah tried to rationalize the whispers. She told herself it was just her imagination, the stress of the move manifesting in strange ways. But deep down, she knew the truth. Something was wrong. The house was alive. The whispers grew louder, more insistent, chipping away at her sanity. They insinuated themselves into her every waking moment. They were always there, a constant, insidious presence. Sarah felt herself slipping, her grip on reality loosening with each passing day. David, sensing her growing paranoia, tried to help. He suggested therapy, medication, anything to pull her back from the brink. But his words seemed to fall on deaf ears. The whispers had poisoned her mind, turning her against the man she loved. They whispered doubts about David, planting seeds of suspicion in her heart. "He's not who you think he is," they hissed. "He's hiding something from you." Sarah's once unshakable trust in David began to crumble. The whispers had driven a wedge between them, turning their sanctuary into a battleground. Their once loving home had become a prison of paranoia and fear. The walls, once a symbol of their love and commitment, now seemed to mock their crumbling relationship. Their arguments became more frequent, more explosive. The love that had once bound them together was slowly being eroded by fear and mistrust. One night, fueled by the whisper's venomous accusations, Sarah confronted David. She accused him of infidelity, of hiding secrets, of not being the man she thought he was. Her words, laced with the venom of the whispers, cut David deeply. He tried to reason with her, to convince her that she was being irrational, that the house was getting to her. But Sarah was too far gone. The whispers had taken root in her mind, twisting her thoughts, poisoning her love. Devastated and heartbroken, David packed a bag and left. He couldn't bear to see the woman he loved consumed by this unseen force. He hoped that with time and space, Sarah would come to her senses, that she would seek help and fight back against the darkness that had enveloped her. As David drove away, Sarah watched from the window, a strange sense of detachment washing over her. She was alone, or so she thought. Section 6. Secrets in the Attic. With David gone, the whispers grew bolder. They urged Sarah to uncover the truth about the house, to delve into its dark history. They led her to the attic, a dusty, cobweb-filled space that had been sealed shut for decades. With trembling hands, Sarah unlocked the padlock. The air inside the attic was heavy, stagnant, thick with the scent of decay and forgotten secrets. As she stepped inside, the floorboards groaned beneath her weight, as if protesting her intrusion. Dust motes danced in the faint rays of sunlight that filtered through the grimy windows. The whispers led her to an old steamer trunk, its leather cracked and faded. Inside, she found stacks of letters, yellowed with age, their ink faded but still legible. The letters told a tale of love, betrayal, and murder. The house's original owner, a wealthy businessman, had murdered his wife in a fit of jealous rage, entombing her body within the walls. He then took his own life, unable to live with the guilt of his actions. Sarah's blood ran cold. The whispers had been right. The house was soaked in tragedy, its very foundation built on a bedrock of despair. But there was more. The letters hinted at a darker secret, a malevolent force that had driven the man to murder, a force that still lingered within the house's walls. Section 7. The Walls Have Eyes. Sarah was trapped. The whispers were no longer content to torment her from afar. They were inside her head now, a cacophony of voices vying for her attention. They showed her visions, horrifying glimpses into the house's past. She saw the murder, the blood staining the pristine white walls, heard the wife's screams echoing through the halls. She saw other victims, their faces contorted in terror, their eyes wide with the realization of their fate. They had been lured in, just like her, by the house's deceptive beauty, only to be consumed by its darkness. The house was a predator, and she was its latest prey. Section 9. Silence. Silence. It was the only sound that remained. The whispers had gone quiet. Sarah was alone. Or was she? The house stood, a silent sentinel, its shadow stretching long and dark in the fading light. The whispers may have been silenced, but the house still held its secrets. It was waiting, watching, for its next victims.